Hey, what's up, Ed here with my new video series called I Don't Know What the I'm Talking About. So, last night, uh, perusing the YouTubes and the subscriptions, and stuff comes up in your subscription tab, and like you'll click on it and watch it for a second, and click off. And I'm telling you, some of the YouTube channels are just cringe, 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 cringe. And I'm not a huge follower of Rick Beato, but when he's doing something live or he's doing something that the title actually interests me and grabs me, I'll watch it. Well, last night he did a thing about compared to Bach, we all suck. And I clicked on that. And I listened to him for a few minutes, and as he was getting into his spiel, and he mentioned that he had watched a video on the history of Bach called "A Passionate Life." I immediately clicked off his video and typed it in, "A Passionate Life," and it came up. It's an hour and a half long, but if you're into history at all, into classical music at all, into the history of religion at all, and it doesn't delve deeply into the history of religion. It talks about Bach and his relationship with the church and how he was brought up. And I was, kind of fancied to find out that he was a Lutheran and followed Martin Luther because, this was way back. And it it's a if it was a book, it'd be called a page turner. But the movie to me was very, very captivating, interesting, entertaining, informative, all the things you want them to be. And I ended up watching the whole thing, and it was, an hour and a half long. It was 1:30 in the morning when the thing finally finished. And so that just goes to show, you got to check people out sometimes because sometimes they'll throw something at you that is worth catching, right? And I'm grateful to Rick Beato for mentioning that because he said he had watched it and that everyone should watch it. Well, it's like everyone should watch this. Everyone needs to watch this. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, I did. But I was pleasantly surprised. I dug it. Uh and it like I said, if you have any kind of interest in classical music or history or Bach himself, he was a strange cat and he lived in some strange times. And he never wrote an opera. He wrote what were called cantatas and sonatas and stuff like that, which I don't know what the fuck those are, but they're pieces of music. And he had to come up with a new piece of music every week for the church that was new and original. And he would get mad about the inadequacies of the musicians that were playing. And one time he called an oboe player that couldn't play his oboe part in one of his cantatas. He called him what was equivalent to a donkey or a donkey's ass or something. But the guy said basically what he was doing was he was calling the guy a prick. Well, this guy and his other musician buddies waited for Bach in the town square to leave the church and be on his way back home or wherever it was Bach was going to next. And they jumped him and started a fight with him over this, And back in those days, like guys that ruled the towns, these dukes and these bishops, these nobles. One noble hung a horn player as an example as to playing for his nephew, who was his competitor in that region. And he said, if you play for him, you will not play for me, and you could end up dead. And he hung the guy, poor horn player. But they were some strange times back then. But I highly recommend it. It was really cool. So I watched that, and I glance over to the side, and I don't put anything like into full screen or theater view usually, because I'll have other tabs open and I'll get notifications, and I might want to go check something out as I'm watching something. I look over the side and I see CBGB, and it's the movie, and I clicked on it. And all right, I'm gonna give you the I'm Googling right now. CBGB cast. Okay, Alan Rickman plays Hilly Crystal. Rupert Grint plays Cheetah Chrome. Malin Ackerman plays Debbie Harry. Let me find him. Donna Logue plays Merv Ferguson, who is Hilly Crystal, and Hilly Crystal was the guy who managed to open CBGBs, and CBGB stood for Country, Bluegrass, and Blues, and he became the godfather of punk. And his mother is played by Estelle Harris, who I've always loved, especially as George Costanza's mother on the Seinfeld show. But she does a brilliant job. And that, after watching Bach, after I watched the Bach thing, A Passionate Life, I tried to watch one about Beethoven and lost interest in like 5 minutes. And I looked over and I saw the CBGB thing. Now, I've got the link to both of those in the description. The Passionate Life first, and then CBGB. And I watched CBGB, and then tonight I watched it on the TV in the living room with Linda, and she really enjoyed it. So if she enjoys a movie about music, probably you will too. It's a really cool movie. And I don't know how accurate it is, but there is a lot of history, because it said in the 33 years that CBGB was open, he put over 50,000 bands on the stage. And under CBGB's, he wrote OMFUG, OMFUG. And his buddy Bert goes, "What the fuck is OMFUG?" He goes, "Other music for you." And I think he says like Guggenheimers or something, but it would probably meant to be other music for you guys. And Linda goes, "OMFUG. What a great name for a band." And I go, I wonder how many people would catch on to that, how many people would get it, And I wonder if I could get away with it here, who's going to come after me in Ashtabula for using OMFUG is a band name sometimes, what the hell, other music for you guys. That's kind of cool. But, the bands that are featured, and Hilliard Crystal, he went on to manage the Dead Boys, and they screwed it up. They wrecked the truck. The one guy in the band, they were in a 7-Eleven or a convenience store, and they got jumped by a bunch of thugs, and he got stabbed 17 times. He lived through it, but in the Dead Boys, they cut 2 albums before the band just went to shit. But Blondie played there, the Talking Heads, the Police, the Dead Boys, Television, Iggy Pop, the Ramones. The Ramones played there 75 times or something in 1 year. But CBGB was a great palate cleanser after watching A Passionate Life. So you go from dead ass serious to, you know, something not so serious. Because sometimes you go on YouTube and people just, you click on their videos and it's the same old. People sound the same when they're doing their thing, and they just keep doing the same thing over and over and over, and you can't tell one thing from another. And you know, you're better off sitting here watching me pick my nose, okay? So please, if you get a chance and if you have the desire, go watch those 2 movies. It's totally unsolicited. Totally unsolicited. So, and the other thing, Sunday nights with Dr. Groovy. Thanks everybody for watching that. Stick around for the after show. I don't do one every Sunday, but I do them on an occasion. I think I'm going to go with every other Sunday. So I did one last Sunday. I might not do this one. I might not. Depends. It's by chance, okay? It's just scheduled by chance. And please, if you get a chance, drop in on my Patreon. And as soon as I get 1 or 2 more Patreons, I will start posting. As a matter of fact, I'll start putting stuff up there in the next couple days. I promise. For you guys. And that would be a great help. So, all right. If you want to, go watch those 2 movies. And if I see any more good musical movies that are entertainment or real good documentaries, there's lots of them on YouTube. There's tons of them. There's tons of documentary stuff about every musician you'd ever want to know about. So check those out. All right. Later, gang.